Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Charlottesville on this beautiful autumn day. We are so glad you chose to be with us and spend part of your morning here in the sanctuary. And welcome to everyone who's joining us online. My name is Peggy Ruth, and I will be your celebration assistant this morning. And of course, I'm here with our senior minister, the wise and witty Reverend Don Lansky. And we have some exciting music for you today. Joe Crookston was here last night doing a concert, and he will be providing some fabulous music for us today. So, it's our practice to open with song. So, Joe?
My father, you could use a little mercy now. The fruits of his labor falling right slowly on the ground. His work is almost over. Won't be long, you won't be around. I love my father. He could use some mercy now. My brother, he could use a little mercy now. He's a stranger to freedom, shackled to his fears and his doubts. The pain that he lives in is almost more than living will allow. And I love my brother. He could use some mercy now. My church and my country, they could use a little mercy now, as they sink into a poison pit. It's gonna take forever to climb out, and they carry the weight of the faithful as we follow them down. I love my church and my country, and they could use some mercy now. Yeah, we all, we could use a little mercy now. We may not deserve it, we need it anyhow. weight in the balance between hell and hallowed ground. And every single one of us could use some mercy now.
Joe Crookston, everybody. He had a great concert last night. Thanks so much. Well, good morning and welcome to Unity of Charlottesville. Can you hear me in the back? Okay, good. So Unity is a spiritual center that welcomes people of all faiths, all religions, all cultures, all race, creed, sexual orientation, gender identity, political persuasion. Everybody is welcome here, and so we're glad you're here this morning. And we hope you find something that's valuable to you on your own spiritual journey this morning. And it's our tradition to begin with prayer, so I invite us to just close our eyes for a moment. And we just open our hearts to mercy, compassion. We can visualize ourselves this morning as a spiritual community radiating that outwards to our local community and to our state and to our country, to our world. Joining with millions and millions of other good-willed people. People who have an intention of peace on earth and goodwill towards all beings. And so whatever you bring with you this morning, there may be some challenges in your life, some heaviness, maybe some just gratitude this morning. Allowing ourselves to expand our heart space to include all of it. All of it. And to know that each and every one of us has everything we need within us to meet whatever life brings to us as the divine plan and our divine purpose unfolds on our spiritual journeys. And for this, we just say, thank you, God. Amen.
And let's close this time of prayer by affirming the statement of faith. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent.
I'm going to invite Karen and John to come up. Blair, you want to come too? Yeah, great. Blair's slumming it today. Let's welcome each other. Sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Here we go.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Good morning.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Boy, the energy is intense here this morning. Welcome, everybody. And boy, and we need more volume. Peggy and I both need more volume, okay? This and that, yeah.
Well, Robin, come tell us what's going on in the youth ed ministry.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, it's such lovely weather out there. It is. So this morning in our YOUers class, we get to explore the story of the prodigal son. Am I saying that right?
Sure.
Prodigal son. It's a story that's kind of near and dear to my heart because at one point when I was in my early 20s, I lost myself and I moved to Los Angeles and I found myself and I came back home. And I always wondered, is there going to be a day when my children leave and move across the country? And it's going to be, it's a thing that everyone has to go through, right? You have to lose yourself to find yourself. And I'm just glad to be able to open that discussion with the youth. And I feel really blessed to be in that place this morning. And Genevieve, one of our youth volunteer teachers, is here this morning to be with the elementary age. Thank you, Genevieve. They'll be reading The Jumping Mouse, a Native American legend, and it's also a story of journey and quest. So let's say our blessing for youth, and then we'll meet in the back and head off to class. Children, Uniteens, YOUers, teachers and parents, you are loved, special, and important.
Thank you.
We have some opportunities for transformation. Tony, are you going to talk about the Earth Care team?
Watch your step up here, guys.
Yeah, I know. This is a bit of an obstacle course. We are really excited to kick off today the Unity of Charlottesville Earth Care team. So it's going to be downstairs in the large classroom. We're going to start exactly at 12:15 because I'm pretty geeky and I believe in starting and ending on time. So you'll have to just hang in there with me. And Peter, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, we've all heard about global warming, and so this is Unity's chance to take a stand about that and show that we have a different way of relating to the earth.
So hope you come.
Thanks. And Tony, why don't you speak about the community engagement also?
Oh, yes. And then wearing a different hat is the community engagement team has done the kickoff for collecting essential household products and grooming products for the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. I noticed some people brought in some things this morning, so thank you. The barrel actually looks pretty full. So please bring things. We're going to be collecting for them through the month of September. And I know every time we drop off these supplies, they are so grateful because it's something that they can't legally use their resources for. They can only use it for food, but people still need toothpaste and toilet paper and all those kind of things. So thank you so much for your donations.
Thanks, Tony.
Ginger Collier continues her book study group. They meet the second Saturday of every month online. You can get information on our website, and her email address is on the screen. And our next hug meeting is coming up. This is Help Unity Grow. That's going to be after the service. on the 15th. Please come, share your ideas, and let's just grow this wonderful spiritual community in beautiful ways.
We were able to bring Joe Crookston here because we're partnering with Focus Music. I don't know, is Herb here today? Oh, Herb is here today, thanks. We have a number of concerts planned that are coming up as well. We've also partnered with the Charlottesville Jazz Society, and so on September 17th, they're bringing Sharon Katz and the Peace Train. They're a South African group, so if you're a great lover of jazz, you can go to our website and find out more information about this on September 17th. And September 18th, Wednesday, I'll be doing the second Unity Basics class for anyone who's interested in knowing about what Unity teaches. So if you're new to Unity, this is a good way to find out what we kind of generally broadly teach. If you want to become a voting member of Unity, this is a required class, and it will be on Zoom at 7:15, and the information is on our website, unitycharlottesville.org. Blair, do you want to speak about this? Or? Yeah. This is a busman's holiday. It's so cool.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm having fun. You'll notice I'm wearing my Joe Crookston shirt. Now, I want to remind you all that for a couple of weeks, I plugged Joe's concert, didn't I? Yes. And how many people were here last night? And it was amazing, wasn't it? So do I lie to you? No. So we're going to have this concert in my house. And how many of y'all came the last time we did this? It was fun, wasn't it? You bring a picnic, and we've cut down a lot of trees we cleared a lot of land, so we have a lot more places to park on the property. And Barry's building a ramp up to the stage so we're trying to accommodate you better for this. Anyway, I'm hoping we'll get a really good turnout on October 5th, and the first set is going to be my CD release for Newborn Child, which is my album of revisited ballads. I sang those one Sunday at church a long time ago. I did a little talk, and I sang a few of those with my daughter, and she played the fiddle. You might remember that. She'll be playing with me again. And so we're going to do a set, and then the second set will be our wonderful friends Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin, and they'll be doing their wonderful, uplifting, fun, positive music. So I hope you all will come, and just as I said when Joe was coming, if you will go ahead and commit and get a ticket, it will alleviate anxiety and frustration on the part of those who are mounting the concert. You can go on the Unity website, and there's a link to the tickets, and all of the money it really goes to Jan and JD, so we can get them here. So please go buy your tickets now. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Thanks. Whoa, getting ahead of myself here.
The Unity Men's Fellowship will have their next meeting on August 7th. It's here in
October 7th.
October 7th, 6 p.m., the Fillmore House, right over here. Contact Bob if you have any questions. He's here today, and his email address is on the screen as well.
And Patricia's meditation, do you want to speak about that? So I'll just mention that October 26th is Patricia's next autumn meditation retreat from 8:45 to 4 p.m. And the topic is creating a high frequency of gratitude. So if you'd like to have more information about that, it's also on our website, and you can sign up. And also save the date. How many people are familiar with Gary Renard? He is an advocate of the Course in Miracles. He's written many books. His most famous book is The Disappearance of the Universe. He'll be here on November 9th for an all-day workshop, and there'll be more information about that later, but I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Our fall art show continues downstairs in the terrace level. Michelle Barber's work is on display till the middle of this month. And then Renee Blue's wonderful collage work will be following that. We look forward to her artistic expressions down there. So take time to see these talented people. Wednesday, 6:30 to 7 is our healing half hour. If you can't join us, send a prayer request in through the email, and we will include that in our prayer time. We've had some amazing results, and there's a very resilient group of folks that are there every week.
And we have a special presentation this morning. Do you know, I think you're all aware that Unity of Charlottesville is a tithing church. So we tithe 10% of all income from any source out into the world. And a lot of that supports our Unity Worldwide Ministries and Unity World Headquarters, the musicians that we bring to church. And also, every quarter we choose a community organization to tithe to as well. And we have a tithing team, Jackie Brown and Carol Trainham and Shirley Fleischman. And I want to invite Carol Trainham and our special guest to come up from the Building Goodness Foundation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm subbing for Jackie Brown, who's supposed to be here today. It's my privilege, as Don said, that we tithe and that I'm on the tithing team, and I get to present the tithe this morning. We are tithing this time to Building Goodness. And we have the executive director of Building Goodness this morning, Courtney Pope. And I'm going to give her a check, and I'm going to give her the microphone and let her tell you about what Building Goodness is all about. So here.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Well, good morning. It is so good to be here with you all. My name is Courtney Polk, and I am Executive Director at Building Goodness Foundation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much for thinking of Building Goodness Foundation. Thank you for your generosity as a group, as an organization, as a people. I'm really, really, really grateful, and we are as an organization. So thank you for having me today. So just a quick note about Building Goodness Foundation. I've already met a few folks here this morning that have volunteered with us. We are a Charlottesville-based nonprofit organization that does construction work. So we partner with other nonprofit organizations here locally in Charlottesville and also internationally. We're currently working in Haiti and in Guatemala. And we work with the construction industry and other volunteers from the community to provide nonprofit organizations with the facilities and the buildings that they need to fulfill their mission. Now, I learned this morning, so we were founded in 1999 by, if anyone knows Alexander Nicholson, they're a local builder. They do beautiful homes, and they also happen to build this lovely building. So that's very cool. They're our founders, and some other things that we do around town. You may have heard of the Haven or the Batesville Bread Fund or other nonprofit organizations. We recently did some work with Camp Holiday Trails, where we installed a new dock at their lake. And then also at All Blessings Flow, they have some warehouses. If you're familiar with the medical supplies they provide, we've done all of those. And so we are a group of builders and local volunteers that get together to provide the buildings that other groups in town need. And we're also currently working in Guatemala, where we're building 4 schools for indigenous Maya communities, which is really amazing work. It's a huge privilege to get to do that. And we have ongoing work in Haiti, where we're doing houses for folks and also sanitation water projects. So we've been here for 25 years now. It's our 25th anniversary, and we have lots of celebrations happening. We have a big volunteer celebration happening in October, and I have some information at the back, and I'll be here along with Mark. We'll hang out here and just join you all for your service today and be here for questions and to meet folks afterwards. So would love to invite you all to the 25th anniversary celebration. It's in October at Morven Farm. It's going to be really fun. So anyway, I think I've gone over my time, but thank you so much, again, for your generosity and for supporting organizations such as BGF and others in the community. It means so much.
Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you want to know more about some of the gritty of this, Buddy Leffers, in the early days, right after Hurricane Katrina, Buddy Leffers went down to Mississippi as part of the Building Goodness Foundation. You can talk to him about that as well.
Rebecca?
No. We have to move on. We really do. Sorry.
Let's affirm our mission statement together. Unity of Charlottesville empowers everyone to express their unique divinity, making a positive difference in the world.
It's a pleasure to bring back Joe Crookston. I'm sorry, we're really, really late.
I was talking to Don and Patricia about the theme for today, the unity theme, the theme of interconnectedness and oneness of us, and thinking about the songs that would connect in that way. And I was thinking about one of my favorite books that I've ever read is Living Buddha, Living Christ by Thich Nhat Hanh. And this just simple idea struck me and has always stayed with me, where he points to a chair and he says, he calls it a cloud, and how this chair used to be a cloud, and it used to be rain, and then the rain came down and turned into a tree, and then the tree turned into a chair, and then the chair fades away and goes back into the earth. And I don't know if we could get any more interconnected than that. And I'll sing you this song, and maybe you could sing it with me, called Fall Down As the Rain. When my life is over and I have gone away, I'm gonna leave this big old world and the trouble and the pain. And if I get to heaven, I will not stay. I'll turn myself around again and fall down as the rain. When I finally reach the ground, I'll soak into the side. I'll turn myself around again and come up as a goldenrod. Come up as goldenrod, come up as goldenrod. I'll turn myself around again, come up as goldenrod. Come up as goldenrod, come up as goldenrod. Turn myself around again, come up as goldenrod. Then when I turn dry and brown, I'll lay me down to rest. Turn myself around again as part of an eagle's nest. Part of an eagle's nest, part of an eagle's nest. I'll turn myself around again as part of an eagle's nest. Part of an eagle's nest, part of an eagle's nest. Turn myself around again as part of an eagle's nest. When that eagle learns to fly, I'll flutter from that tree. myself around again. It's part of the mystery. Part of the mystery, part of the mystery. Turn myself around again. It's part of the mystery. Part of the mystery, part of the mystery. Turn myself around again. It's part of the mystery. When my life is over and I have gone away, I'm gonna leave this big old world in the trouble and the pain. If I get to heaven, I will not stay. I'll turn myself around again and fall down as the rain. Fall down as the rain. Fall down as the rain. I'll turn myself around again and fall down as the rain. One more. Fall down as the rain. Fall down as the rain. I'll turn myself around again and fall down as the rain.
So, a Unity minister and a Southern Baptist preacher and a televangelist were traveling together when their train collided with another train and they all died instantly. And they found themselves at the pearly gates. St. Peter was surprised when he saw them, and he said, you know, you guys may think that you summoned here, but sometimes these things just happen. It's just a coincidence. And since we didn't know we were coming, we don't really have a place for you yet. Now, I can't send you back, so I'm going to ask Satan if he can put you up in hell for a few days. So Peter called Satan, and Satan reluctantly agreed to take the ministers for a few days, and they all went to hell. And 2 days later, St. Peter got a call, and it was Satan. Satan said, you got to get these guys out of here. The Unity minister fella is forgiving everybody. The Southern Baptist is saving everybody. And the televangelist has raised enough money to buy air conditioning. Well, as you know, this is the 23rd anniversary of 9/11 this week, the 9/11 attacks in Washington and New York. And most of us who have witnessed such a tragedy, an extreme tragedy of that magnitude, remember where we were and what we were doing on those days. And for Patricia and I, we were packing. We were getting ready to move the next day to come to Charlottesville from Lee Summit, Missouri, from seminary, to begin our ministry here in Charlottesville on that day. And when the mover told us to turn on the TV. And we watched, as you all did, and as my friend, Andy Cates, who worked on the top floor of the World Trade Center, was killed. We watched that in live time, along with thousands of innocent other people. And how our world changed that day, you know, the war between Israel and Hamas, the Russia and Ukraine, the civil war in Sudan, are horrifying examples of how this trend of modern warfare to attack and go after civilians, whatever side they're on, you know, to senselessly target civilians and intentionally undermine a country's infrastructure. All of these things are the the hallmarks of modern warfare. And don't you think it's time that our political candidates, our presidential candidates, our religions, our governments, our institutions stop propagating fear and hatred and revenge? You know, thousands of years ago, not thousands, well, yeah, thousands, the Lao Tzu, the Taoist teacher, wrote, peaceful individuals create peaceful families create a peaceful nation, and peaceful nations create a peaceful world. And so if we don't dialogue about peace, if we don't find the source of peace from within ourselves, how would we ever expect our world to change for our children and their children and their children's children, and for all of the future of our planet even? So as you know, Unity began as a prayer ministry in the late 1800s. And historically, affirmative prayer has been our method of choice to envision and to create a more peaceful world. We believe in prayer. We believe that prayer works, and that it works across the boundaries of time and space, and that it has the power to traverse any and all boundaries between people, between religions, between political views, all of that. And that's how Unity's World Day of Prayer came into being. And this Wednesday, September 11th, will be the 31st annual Unity World Day of Prayer. Our World Day of Prayer has always been celebrated in the second week of September. And so it existed long before the events of 9/11. And it's really just coincidental that this year it happens to be on 9/11. And you can take part in this online experience by going to worlddayofprayer.org. And what will happen is that there'll be speakers, there'll be music, there'll be prayers, and then there'll be a 24-hour vigil where ministers and volunteers will pray for all of the people who've called Silent Unity this past year, which amounts to millions of people. And it's always quite a moving experience. Patricia and I, of course, were part of that when we were in ministry in seminary. So I want to explore with you today some ideas that are thousands of years old and form the basis of what is called Advaita Vedanta or Advaita Yoga. And Advaita means non-duality. And the origin of Advaita goes back to a guru or teacher called Adi Shankara, the first Shankara. And Shankara, there's not much known about his personal life or even the time period in which he lived. Some scholars say he lived 700 BCE, some say he lived up to the 700 CE, some gurus say that he's lived thousands of years ago. And Adi Shankara, through his commentaries on the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Brahma Sutra, expounded Advaita teachings, which are basically summed up in 3 sentences. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Na Para, which means God only is real, the world is unreal, the individual is none other than God. Now, to those of you studying the Course in Miracles, this may sound vaguely familiar to a foundational passage in the Course in Miracles, which says that nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So these are kind of simple statements, but wow, the world is unreal. Can you get into that? The world is unreal. Doesn't the world seem pretty real to you all? How about your bodies? How about the chair you're sitting in? How about the bills you have waiting to be paid? How about the life you've been living for the last 10 or 20 or 30 or 70 or 80 years? How about your whole life? Does it all seem unreal? Well, if we look a little more deeply into what Advaita says, Adi Shankara had a name for the supreme reality, which he called Brahman. And he said that Brahman is God, the supreme cosmic spirit, the one, the whole and the only reality, the infinite, omnipresent, omnipotent, incorporeal, impersonal, transcendent reality, the divine ground of all being. He said that Brahman is neti neti, meaning not this, because Brahman cannot be correctly described as this or that Brahman is the origin of this and that, the origin of all forces, all substances, all of existence, the undefined, the basis of all, the unborn, the essential truth, the unchanging, eternal, absolute reality beyond the senses. And Brahman is the substrate of the material world, the purest form of knowledge itself, illuminant like a source of infinite light, attributeless, formless, indescribable, self-existent, the absolute, the imperishable, Sat Chit Ananda, the truth or consciousness which never changes and whose essential constituent is bliss. I am that, thou art that, all this is that. And that in whom reside all beings and who resides in all beings, who is the giver of grace to all, the supreme soul of the universe, the limitless being, I am that. That which permeates all, which nothing transcends, and which, like the universal space around us, fills everything completely from within and without, the supreme non-dual Brahman, that thou art. Whew. Right? That's a lot of words to describe something that is indescribable, right? That's what we human beings like to do. And if it seems familiar to you, it's because this is the very essence of unity's first and second principles, right? The first principle, that there is only one presence and one power, God the good omnipotence. And the second, that every person has the spark of divinity within them. Every person is divine. So Brahman, the one consciousness, is the essence of everything in creation. Therefore, it's also the essence of our very own self, which Shankara called the Atman. And according to Shankara, and according to Advaita, your Atman, mine and everybody's, is the same as the one absolute underlying reality of the whole universe, which is Brahman. And so Brahman sort of kind of corresponds to our Western idea of God, that except that it's not a super being, not a super powerful being. It's an impersonal. It's the source of everything, which the universe really is, and which is also found in New Thought traditions. We know New Thought talks about an immanent God and a transcendent God. So Brahman is the transcendent idea of God. And in short, your inner self, your true you, is divine, which is exactly what unity says. What prevents us from directly experience the reality of oneness and unity? What causes the separation that defines the terrorist from the innocent bystander, the captor from the slave, the Christian, Muslim, and Jew from one another, the saint from the sinner? What causes that separation? Well, it's ignorance of our own nature. We don't know, or we never knew, or we haven't yet discovered our true nature. And the reason for this is a powerful force called Maya, M-A-Y-A, or illusion, which is also Brahman. That's a paradox. Don't ask me to explain that. Right? Maya, illusion, is also Brahman. Everything is Brahman. And one of the most powerful tools of Maya is our own egos, right? That part of us that is judging and criticizing and all that mental mumbo-jumbo that we're always going through. We separate because we hold thoughts of separation. We create boundaries and illusions and fears and hatreds from within ourselves. And so here's how Maya works, as illustrated by a parable from Vedanta. A man is walking at night down a dark path, and suddenly a snake bites him on the leg. And he falls to the ground. He's lying on the ground, and he sees this snake just a few feet from him. And the man is weeping and crying in pain. He's feeling the poison coursing through his veins. And he cries out for help. And a nearby farmer hears him and comes with a lantern and shines the lantern at the snake. And lo and behold, the snake turns out to be just a coiled up piece of rope. So the question is, was the snake real? Was the snake real? Well, it certainly seemed real to the man, right? He felt the pain and the anguish of being bitten. He felt all of the fear and all of the anxiety. It was certainly real to him. But that was his reality, the way that dreams have their own reality, you know? If you have a tiger chasing you in a dream, you can shoot him with a gun and save yourself. But you can't shoot a dream tiger with a real gun, and you can't shoot a real tiger with a dream gun. So Shankara said, well, knowledge must be different in different states of consciousness. That what you experience as real depends on your state of consciousness. So if you're wearing red glasses, everything appears to be red. If you're wearing green glasses, everything appears to be green. If you're dreaming, your reality is certainly different than when you're waking. But there is an absolute reality that underlies all of these experiences and all of these states of consciousness. And that's the reality that there is only oneness. There is only Brahman. And Albert Einstein had the same idea when he said that a person experiences life as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. Our task must be to free ourselves from this self-imposed prison and through compassion, to find the reality of oneness. So Advaita says that while the dream state and the waking state appear to be different, both are the result of mind. Our real nature is beyond waking, dreaming, and sleeping consciousness. And so it's kind of like being in a movie theater and watching a 2-hour movie. Do you know that when you watch a 2-hour movie, you're actually seeing 172,800 images in a 2-hour movie? So think of all the experiences that you have during a 2-hour movie, all of the emotions that you go through, all of the feelings, all of the, depending on the movie, the excitement, the sadness, all of that stuff, how absorbed you are into the reality of the movie, so much so that you forget about your own so-called reality as well until you leave the movie theater. But underneath all of those images being projected and that you're watching on the screen, underneath that is a blank white movie screen. And this is the background in which all of these images are projected. Without the blank white movie screen, there's no movie. Those images just go off into space. So the blank movie screen is analogous to Brahman, that which never changes, but is the basis of all change and all underlying change. And the Fillmores, Unity's co-founders, called this substance, which is another name for God. So how are you doing so far? Can you wrapping your head around all of this? It means that you aren't the you that you thought you were, or you are more than the you that you thought you were. And in fact, who you think you are before you're enlightened may just be an illusion. So I want to try this out for a minute. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and try and experiment with me. So if you would just close your eyes for a moment and try to focus your attention on who you are, your identity as a person. Okay, let's just do that for a moment with the eyes closed. Who are you, your identity as a person? Okay, now slowly open the eyes. So when we close our eyes with the task of identifying who we are, most of us become immediately aware of thoughts, feelings maybe, sensations, maybe hopes, maybe dreams, desires, and a lot of extraneous thoughts about all sorts of stuff that have nothing to do with the question I asked, right? And maybe you tried to answer the question of your identity by thinking of your age, or your occupation, or your marital status, or what you believe, or what you do. And we did this exercise by closing our eyes and turning within for a moment. So if we're turning within, this must be the inner you, right? Any heads nodding? Not necessarily according to Advaita. right? Because if you're aware of something, say that you're aware that you're thinking a thought, who is the you that is thinking the thought, right? If the real you is pure consciousness, pure awareness itself, just like the blank movie screen, what if that's the real you? And this is the heightened experience of someone who is in God consciousness or unity consciousness, a state of consciousness that Jesus was describing in John chapter 17. And Jesus said, "As you, Father, are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. The glory that you have given me, I have given them, so that they may be one as we are one, I in them and you in me, that they may be completely one, so that the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me." See, there was no separation between Jesus and his idea of God the Father. Jesus is saying that we all have that same potential to experience that. And, in unity we say that in this passage, Jesus is speaking from the consciousness of the Christ. And the Christ state of consciousness is that state which is in complete and total oneness with the divine, with God. And the experience of Brahman is the same experience. So one of the great Advaita teachers was Ramana Maharishi, who lived in India from 1879 to 1950. And Ramana Maharishi left his home when he was 14 years old. And when he was 16, he had a spiritual awakening, and he became immediately enlightened. And he did this through what is seemingly the oldest question that human beings have. Who am I? He asked that question, who am I? And Ramana Maharishi said that by using this method of self-inquiry and spiritual discrimination, by repeatedly inquiring, who am I, we would become convinced, or we would convince our ordinary state of ourselves, our egos, that that's not who we really are. We're not our egos. We're something much more than that. And he said, God dwells in you as you, and you don't have to do anything to be God realized or self-realized. It's already your true and your natural state. So just drop all seeking, turn your attention within, inward, and sacrifice your mind to the one self radiating in the heart of your very being. For this to be your own presently lived experience, self-inquiry is the one and immediate way. And this is how Ramana Maharishi described the technique of self-inquiry. He said, the mind will subside only by means of the inquiry, who am I? The thought, who am I, destroying all other thoughts, will itself finally be destroyed like the stick used for stirring a funeral pyre. If other thoughts arise, one should, without attempting to complete them, inquire, to whom did they arise? And it will be known, well, to me. If one then inquires, who am I? The mind, the power of attention, will turn back to its source, and by repeatedly practicing thus, the power of the mind to abide in its source increases. So it goes something like this. Who am I? I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my body. I'm not my feelings. I'm not my sensations. I'm not my senses. But I'm thinking the thoughts. But who's thinking the thoughts? Well, I am. But who am I? That is a cycle, right? That's a cycle. So this is a very brief, very oversimplified summary. You might be interested in investigating it further by reading and looking up Ramana Maharishi. But the purpose of Universal Truth Principle is to point the way to the truth, who we really are in our heart of hearts. And that's why we come together in spiritual community. That's why we come to learn, to grow, to support each other, to remember. It's why worshiping together is a spiritual discipline. And this is our particular challenge, not only this week on the 31st anniversary or the 23rd anniversary of 9/11, and with less than 2 months to unquestionably the most important presidential election of our lifetimes. But it's also important. Do we know what this is that's popping? Yeah. But in a world that seems a lot of the time, and by all outer appearances, to be completely out of control and totally insane, So if we can get a handle on this question, who am I really? I say we had a better chance of also knowing who our neighbors are really. 131 years ago this week, the Parliament of World Religions was inaugurated on September 11th, 1893. This date is a very auspicious day, apparently. And this was held as part of the World Columbian Exposition in Chicago. It was the first formal gathering of representatives from Eastern and Western spiritual traditions, and it was considered to be the birthplace of the worldwide interfaith movement. And the Parliament brought together some 400 men and women representing 41 denominations and religious traditions. Patricia and I went a couple of years ago to the Toronto Parliament of World Religions. There were 200 religions represented there. So this initial Parliament of World Religions lasted for 17 days. It had an average daily attendance of about 4,000 people attending the daily sessions, among them Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Unity's co-founders. And at the first inaugural session, Swami Vivekananda was one of the keynote speakers on September 11th, 1893. Vivekananda was a disciple of Ramakrishna, another great Indian saint, and he was really the first yogi to come to the West to talk about the yoga traditions. And when Ramakrishna passed in 1896, Vivekananda took up the mantle and went on to found the Vedanta Society, which is now a worldwide movement. So I want to close with a recreation of Swami Vivekananda's actual speech on the opening day of the Parliament of World Religions on September 11th, 1893. You need sound, guys.
Sisters and brothers of America, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of the monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the mother of all religions. And I thank you in the name of millions and millions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. My thanks also to some of the speakers on this platform, who, referring to the delegates from the Orient, have told you that these men from far-off nations may well claim the honor of bearing to different lands the idea of toleration. I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. I will quote to you, my brethren, few lines from a hymn which I remember to have repeated from my earliest childhood, which is every day repeated by millions of human beings. As different streams, having their sources in different places, all mingle their water in the sea. So, O Lord, the different paths which men take through different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to Thee. I fervently hope that the bell that tolled this morning in honor of this convention may be the death knell of all fanaticism, of all persecution with the sword or with the pen, and of all uncharitable feelings between persons wending their way to the same goal.
So Swami Vivekananda's words are as hopeful today as they were back then. And I know that we can get discouraged sometimes that this vision of peace and oneness hasn't happened yet and is taking too long to achieve. But you know, as spiritual truth students, we have to keep trying, don't we? We have to keep trying, and we have to keep praying and affirming and applying spiritual principles in action. The action part is important. Not only visualizing a better world, but actually going out and doing stuff to make that come about, so that this realization of oneness can occur really for all of us, for all of our brothers and sisters. So let's prepare for meditation now. And I'm going to invite Joe Cookson to come back up.
It's in the blooming of an orchid. It's in a baby when she talks. It's in the sugar of a maple. And in the silence of a hawk. It's in your mother and your father. It's in a stone rolling down. It's in the wind chill factor falling in an Oklahoma town. It's in your angry neighbor. It's in the digging of a shoe. It's in the belly of the Buddha. And I can see it in you. I can see it in It's in the color forms of fire. It's in a marmot and its call. It's in the conduct of copper. And in the light it brings us all. It's in the wood that Jesus carried. It's in a single cell dividing, producing this year's crops. It's in my rolling fingers, in a sylvan canoe. It's in the belly of the earth. It's in the belly of the earth. It's in the belly of the earth. And I can see it in you. I can see it in you.
let's just take some time now and with eyes closed. And notice when you close your eyes and as you're sitting, I invite you to ask yourselves these questions. In this moment, where is my attention? What am I experiencing right now? What body sensations or feelings, emotions, thoughts? Just simply notice. And the next question is, who is experiencing this? Who is thinking these thoughts or feeling these sensations or emotions? And the answer would always be, I am. And so the next question is, who am I? And as you ask those questions and listen for the answers of who am I, you might notice that your thoughts begin to wander again. And so the question is, where is my attention now in this moment? What thoughts, what emotions? What am I experiencing? And who is having this experience? Who's thinking the thoughts? The answer is, I am. But who am I? I want to invite us just for a couple of minutes to sit in the silence and ask ourselves these questions. Where is my attention? What am I experiencing now? Who is experiencing? Who is thinking? I am. But who am I? In the silence. You may find as you do this exercise that when you ask the question of yourself, to whom do the thoughts arise? From whence do the thoughts arise? And the realization that they arise from me, from the I that I am. But who am I? Begin to have a sense of the I-ness of your being larger, more expansive than you possibly imagined. So let's take some time now to slowly open our eyes as we conclude this meditation. So we just want to report about the Unexpected Income Program. This is the last time we'll report on it. That over the summer, from July to the end of August, we received a total of $7,560 from unexpected income. And if you weren't here for the beginning of that program, what folks agreed to do is that if they found money, like a penny on the sidewalk or some unexpected, or some money they didn't know they were getting, that they would give 10% to Unity. And so this is what happened, $7,560, which means that people in our congregation, in our little congregation, found over $75,000. Isn't that amazing? It's absolutely incredible. So thank you, everybody who participated in that.
Well, Don, thank you for that profound message and meditation. So on point for the time we are in right now. We're so blessed to have him for our minister, aren't we?
Oh, stop.
It's that time in our service when we have the opportunity to give back to Unity of Charlottesville. So while you're gathering your tithes and offerings first, let me ask, is there anyone here visiting for the first time today? If you want to be brave and raise your hand, we just want to acknowledge you. Thank you for being here. So glad you joined us today, and please come again. And for anyone watching online, please join us in person here on Sunday mornings at 10:30. There are many ways to give to Unity of Charlottesville, and it's so easy. We invite you to use your phone in church to text your gift. The number is on the screen in front of you. You just enter that in. It gives you the ability to open that app and set the amount that you want to give, and boom, it's that easy. Of course, you can put your offering in the butterfly net that's coming around this morning. You can mail a check to the church office. Whatever way you choose to give, we are so very, very grateful for all that you give in time, talent, and treasure to Unity of Charlottesville. So let's bless our offerings together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Pleasure to bring back once again Joe Crookston.
I thought we'd sing one together. How about that? I thought we would sing one together. How about that? And I wasn't exactly sure what I would do for the last song. I had ideas, and then Don's beautiful message. And what I have known and already get to know Don a bit is that he can look at the outer world and make it real, and then he can look in the inner world and see that as well. And there's this great balance of looking inward and outward, and I appreciate that about you very much. And I was thinking about all the different faiths, traditions, and I was thinking about a song, a chant that I love to sing, and I'm going to make this very simple for you. The first, in the Buddhist tradition, I'm going to have everybody sing all the parts, and then we're going to break into parts, and we're going to keep it very simple, and we're going to enjoy it, and without getting heady about it or anything, just enjoy. So everybody take a big old breath. Yeah, get the energy moving there. How about one more time? Take a big old breath. Good. So the low foundation of this would be from the Buddhist tradition, would simply be the divine in me honors the divine in you, the lotus. And this is simply, you've heard this before, but it's the foundation of the chant, which would be Om Mane Padme Hum. Om Mane Padme. Now get in there, come on. Om Mane Padme. We need some big voices. Om Mane Padme Hum. Keep the Om Mane Padme Hum. Beautiful. So some of you are going to do that. You got to commit to it. Give it as deeply as you can. The next part. Shalom, Shanti. So from Hebrew, Shalom, peace. Shanti is Hindu. It's also the word for peace. So we have Shalom, Shanti. Come on. Shalom, Shanti. Shalom, Shanti. So we have Om Mane Padme Hum, Om Mane Padme. Get in there, come on. Om Mane Padme Hum, Om Mane Padme. Shalom, Shanti. Shalom. Okay, we're going to stop right there. And then the third one from the Christian tradition. Glory, you know this. Here we go. 2, ready, go. Gloria. Now the only difference at the end, when you go to the end, Gloria. You go up there. In excelsis Deo. Each time at the end, go up. And then there you go. So let's do it all together once. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Beautiful. Now I'm going to bring this in at the end. This is Arabic, and it's La ilaha illallahu. So sing that with me. La ilaha illallahu. La ilaha illallahu. That's Arabic, and that simply means there is no God but God. So those are 5 faith traditions locking together. We have Om Mani Padme Hum. We need folks to commit to that one, okay? So we need our low Buddhists, low voices, strong voices. Who's going to join me on this? Om Mani Padme. Come on. Om Mani Padme Hum. You keep that going, okay? You keep that going. Om. You keep that going. Shalom, Shanti. Yeah, there you go. Shalom. Commit to one of them. Shanti. Shalom, Shanti. Here we go. Glory. Yeah, commit to your part. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme. Shalom, Shanti. Come on. Shalom, Shanti. The last one. Keep going. La ilaha illallahu. La ilaha illallah. Would you stand up if you can? Would you stand up if you can? And let's sing it together. What I'd like to ask you to do is commit to your part. Commit to your part and really own it. But also listen to everyone else while you're singing. See if we can listen to the whole. Deep. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme. Shalom, Shanti. Shalom, Shanti. Glory. Yeah, let's hear you. Mm-hmm. La ilaha illallahu, la ilaha, fill the room. La ilaha illallahu, la ilaha illallah. Om mane padme hum, om mane padme hum, om mane padme. Shalom, Shanti, Shalom, Shanti, Shalom, Shanti. La ilaha illallahu, la ilaha illallahu. Gloria in excelsis Deo, la ilaha illallahu, la ilaha illallahu, la ilaha. Thank you for singing with me. Thank you.
And may that vibration go out to thrill the very essence of Brahman. So we're a little over time, but I'd like to just thank everybody who is here today. First of all and foremost, Joe Crookston. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. And Joe has some CDs and other products out on the table in the lobby, so if you'd like to take some of his products or some of his music, that helps to support his work and his travels around the country, and he'd be greatly appreciative of that. I want to thank Boyan and Luke up in the sound booth, and our blessing team today was Buddy Leffers and Kathleen, and I don't know who else was out there, but Tony was out there as well. Thank you, Tony. And of course, Ty, fabulous job. Thank you so much. Sitting in for Blair. And Blue, thank you. And John and Karen. John and Karen, come up because we'll do a peace song. So thank you guys for doing that as well. And the Healing Helpers will be meeting. Kevin is on his travels. PMH is recovering from COVID. So Jim Clark will be back there with the Healing Helpers for prayer in the corner. And Buddy Leffers is here if you have an individual prayer that you'd like to do or something weighing on your heart. Buddy will be right here. So let's stand and do our prayer for protection. Oh, next week we'll be talking about a switch, 180, practical Christianity next week. And we do have a pastoral care team. We're now developing an actual team. We have a group of people who are willing to serve on that team. If you're interested, you can come and see me. But we're just trying to find a way to help our neighbors in unity here together. So our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. fellowship downstairs right now, and the Earth Care team will meet at 12:15. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Yeah, but I didn't.
Got all kinds of toys up here.
Blair, what's this, the drum? This?